Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your August 2025 reading. My name is NiJiLL, and you have found ÄLKØMԻ. Okay, I don't know if you watched me shuffle and lay out the cards, but if you did, you would notice that these were pre-pulled, and they were pre-pulled from your summer 2025 reading. As promised, I re-pulled them, and we built a reading around it. So, what I'll do is I'll summarize this. I'm not going to go into as much detail, but I'll definitely summarize it so you're not lost in case you didn't see that reading, okay? I do invite you to watch it. It's pretty short, but you know, Scorpio, your birthday reading is coming up pretty soon. I love your birthday reading. The time of year is just amazing. And your fall 2025 reading, which will encompass 3 months, that's coming out very soon. It's going to be mid-August, so look out for that. Anyway, back to this reading. It does say avoidance and isolating thoughts. Avoidance, stalemate, isolating thoughts. And I am going to move some of this stuff out of the way so we can get to the bottom here. And then we'll come back to each card individually, okay? Second. And this is so apropos, right? This is a death card. When I say a death card, this is a massive deck, and I believe there are 4 death cards in this deck, and each of them have a certain type of different meaning. It's the same, but it's different. This particular one is Mars. It's a Mars, Aries, Pluto, Scorpio card, and this is an alternate card, and I'm going to try to summarize this as much as possible. I went into detail about exactly what was on the card, but this is Santa Muerte. She is a Mexican folk saint. Her name translated from Spanish is Holy Death. And she assists souls in the transition between life and death, from one thing to another, right? The red robe matters that she's wearing. It could be matters of the heart, matters of passion. There is something that's going to be revealed to you. You know, maybe there will be a messenger of sorts in your reading. Perhaps you're going to assist yourself from one. The only reason I'm saying that is because you yourself are a Scorpio or have Scorpio placements here. You could be sort of assisting yourself from one part of your life to another, or you could be getting assistance. All right, could be any of those things. Now, with these larger cards, I do not take them in reverse, but I do take note of when they come in reverse. And this particular card did come in reverse. So this could be something you're resisting at first, okay? It could be, there could be a resistance here. Next up, you do have here the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords is Mercury in Gemini energy. As you can tell, it's a very assertive energy, right? Assertive. It's forward action, drive. It could be impatience too, right? Pushing forward. It's a little bit different from the Chariot. I do believe it's more of an impatient energy here. And this is followed by the Two of Pentacles, and this did come in reverse before we turned it right side up. Jupiter in Capricorn energy. And you know, you may have, as you can tell, this person is juggling 2 things. Doing okay with it, but it looks like a task as well. It does look like a task. Being that it came in reverse and it's now upright, you may have this feeling of something being too much, right? Too much responsibility. You could have thoughts or wishes about something here. I don't want to speak too much on it right now, but you do have here the King of Cups, and the King of Cups came in his right side up, and he is known as Sun in Scorpio in most tarot decks. He could be Sun in Pisces, but I do believe for this reading it is Sun in Scorpio, and it's emotional growth, right? Devotion, balance, truly in the upright, right? Somebody who strives to be better. You know, you could be the type of person that you make your share of mistakes, but you look in the mirror and say, you could do better. And so I'm going to try to do better. That's a really nice, that's a nice way to live. That's a nice way to look at yourself and life. We all make mistakes, but it's how you handle the mistakes, right? It's what you do with that. And what's interesting in here is you have these 2 piles that came out together, right? These 2 cards came out together, and these 2 cards came out together. And also these 2 cards came out together. So what I'm thinking is they represent 2 people, you and someone else in your life. I'm going to describe these people, and you put yourself where you belong here. And here you go. You have the Two of Pentacles in reverse. Remember when I said that card came in reverse initially? Well, here it is again, right? So you have the Two of Pentacles here in reverse. for person number one, Jupiter and Capricorn energy, it's the juggler, right? And somebody feeling like something may be too much for them, juggling too much. Maybe it's too much stuff at your job, too much stuff between career and your personal life, too much stuff psychologically. Your brain could be on overdrive right now. But you have the Queen of Wands, right? So like, remember when I said that this Two of Pentacles, at least initially, this is someone who feels like they can't handle something, it's too much, but then it's flipped right side up and like, okay, I'm doing this. And there it is. There's that energy, because the Queen of Wands is Jupiter and Aries energy, confidence, optimism, a manifester. She is a manifester, right? And she could be a he. This person is a manifester, very fiery in nature, very confident. She flips that Two of Pentacles right side up. Very positive person in the end, at the end of the day, right? She may have he may have their moments, but hey, they handle things correctly. And now it is paired with this energy. And I'm not saying that one's good and one's bad. It could be that someone in your life, whether it's you or someone else, is having a bad month. Right? We can't be all things to all people every month. We can't be positive, happy-go-lucky, handling everything beautifully every single day. I mean, that's impossible, right? We're all human. So here is the other person. The person has strength in reverse. This is Leo energy. Struggling with confidence, struggling with strength. And the strength could be physical, could be mental, could be strength in any form, right? Struggling with that, struggling. It could be, like I said, a bad month for someone, or this could be an ongoing problem for this person. This person may not have the strength to say no to sometimes. This person may not have the physical strength. Perhaps they have a physical impediment. This person could be sick this month. This person could just be psychologically overwhelmed, right? So here you have the Nine of Swords, and the Nine of Swords is perfect because it's in reverse. This is Mars and Gemini energy. And it looks like this queen turns this Nine of Swords upside down. So this person on top really does help this person. It looks like, I want to say codependent, but not really. It's not like I think this is a terrible situation for someone and it's codependence. Listen, we all have months where we could be a little bit dependent on our significant other more than others. Sometimes it's 90-10. Sometimes it's 50-50. Sometimes it's 60-40, right? It's never exactly even. So here we have one person relying on the other and the other person coming through in spades. You have two different people here, okay? So, and the same thing here, right? You have one person who perhaps avoids situation, avoid confrontation, avoids discussion. Perhaps that's their mindset this month. And then you have the other person who sort of isolates their thoughts, right? Isolates their bad thoughts, and it could be, the power of positive thinking too, right? So it doesn't have to be negative. You could be taking those negative thoughts, isolating them and doing away with them, right? As we see here. When we also have two number twos here, right? And the two number twos is two things coming together, right? The power of two. It is a coupling of sorts. So I'm not saying this whole reading is going to be a love reading because it's a full month reading, and I could already see that there's other things going on with money and everything else. So, but this does rely on a partnership. Now, this partnership could be romantic, or it could be someone that you're partnered up with at work. It could be somebody that you're going into business with. It could be somebody that you work alongside with. It could be a friendship even. Could be a friendship. So don't be limited on how you look at this. But when we add this up and we break it down, we get Neptune energy, right? And that is, it's sort of illusion and confusion, right? There could be some confusion, at least for one person going on here. It could be sort of not as clear. And like I said, this could be temporary energy that you're going through this month, or they're going through this month. But there is some sort of confusion, it could be even disillusionment going on in this energy here. Well, we do have Algiers, and I like that, right? The Algiers card is a positive change for the better, and good fortune is coming your way, a stroke of luck. So you have luck coming your way. Definitely. This pertains to Algiers oil, right? It's a hoodoo oil for fast luck type thing. You do have ash, and this is number 33 in this deck. It's ancestors. It's the past, right? Memories from the past. Look back and sift through what has occurred in the past. This could be the distant past. For many of you, it is. This could be something that happened recently, but there is something in the past you need to examine here. Something needs to be looked at and examined. This could be like I said, something about your ancestors even, right? But like it's going to be so different for each Scorpion, right? So you're an actual functioning part of this reading as well. So you look at a general reading and you say, okay, that has something to do with something that happened a month ago with this person, right? And others of you will say, man, I know that what's been going on in my head has something to do with my childhood, right? It's going to be different for each of you. You do have Saturn here, and this is Capricorn Aquarius energy here, number 19. And we do have the Saturn, we're right smack in the middle of Saturn retrograde in Aries, right? And for Scorpio, I think it's for you to look at small ways that you are adding to your stress personally. That could be anything, Scorpio. It doesn't have to be anything deep. It could, of course, be, but it could be something as simple as getting up 20 minutes too late, it's pressing snooze one too many times and saying, this is just adding to my stress. It's making me rush around. I have to stop doing this. Or, staying too late at the office and not saying no, or you're not taking enough time off or not balancing your personal life with your work. It's going to be different for all of you. But you have to, it's, during this Saturn retrograde for you, Scorpio, you need to take this opportunity to make changes for yourself, something that's within within your reach. That you can change, that'll definitely lessen your stress. You're one of the few signs that pulled two of these cards. One of them is Mayu. It says Soma from the Galactic Heart. What a beautiful card. And usually when we pull this card, your potential is awakening within you. I do think that there's a lot of things going on this month where you're going to look at and say, I can change that. I can make this better. This relationship could use some tweaking. So I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I could use some tweaking. I could see at work that certain things could be done better, right? This card is a prophecy of ascension. You're ascending somehow. And I know that sounds extremely fancy. It doesn't have to be extremely fancy. It doesn't have to be overwhelmingly spiritual, right? You do have a clan of the wolf heart. It says, we are the ones we've been waiting for. And this is the soul's connection, right, to who you are, but at a higher level, right? It's like an alternate version of your life and yourself is flashing before your eyes. And it's pretty much what we said here. It's like getting a peek into an alternate reality. And then realizing that you could make changes to make that your reality. And it's actually better than what you're living now. So really think about that. You have these two cards that came out. It says, well, yep, family wishes coming true, right? And family could be family, or it could be your significant other and yourself. It could be your work family as well. But you have whale. It says great worry over nothing. You could find yourself worrying over nothing. What's interesting here is that the whale does represent the sign of Pisces. I don't know if that means something to you, if you have it highly aspected in your chart, or perhaps somebody else around you does. But both the well and the whale have one thing in common. They both dive deep. So you're going to be diving deeply, whether it's deeply within yourself, deeply within your life. You're going to be doing a deep dive to make some changes here for sure. You have the waves ruin, and these are witches' ruins, and the waves, just like the whale, is carrying you somewhere else, right? You are being sort of beckoned. You have these letters V, L, Q, A, and C. This could be a work location. This could be someone's initials. Could be a restaurant. Could be an airport, a street name. Definitely write them down. One of them or all of them will definitely mean something to you by the end of the month here, Scorpio. On this side, you have the mountain in reverse. And this is number 6. And, for part of this month, you may feel like there's an obstacle in front of you. I do think it's sort of, it is not an obstacle that is meant to impede you. It's meant to slow you down, perhaps. It may be meaning to show you that there is a possibility where you're standing. In other words, you don't have to climb the mountain to go over the mountain to see a new possibility. Maybe exactly, it was just what I said before. A parallel universe is right next to you, right? It could be that too. You do have the vessel. Let me get this. And the vessel is 69. Interesting number, right? The number 69 in this deck, you have this card. It's really a nice card. The vessel is, let me see if I can put this. Um, protection. The vessel is protection, right? What are you seeing? The vessel is protection. It could be your body. It could be the nest, your home. It could be a savings account, right? It's that protective thing, right? And protection is what you are seeing here, right? So it depends what protection is to you and what it is to you specifically this month. Are you feeling lack where that protection is supposed to be? Is it a breakdown of that security that you thought that was there that is no longer there, or that wasn't there the way you thought it was? Maybe you want to change the structure. Maybe you want to change directions and concentrate on a different vessel. That could be as well. You do have here from my Norse deck, you have Gohi, and it does say on the card transformation. So this is a very scorpionic card, even though it is Norse. Definitely scorpionic. This archetype is called upon for transformation, right? It could be transformation in work, in art, in living situations, in relationships. And it goes straight into this new start, right? Because you have new beginnings, right? And there is that pause again. It's that pause before the mountain. Sometimes the journey we make isn't really over a mountain. It's not long distance. It's parallel. It's parallel. You have Eternal Gatekeeper, number 32. Protect what is right for you. Interesting card. She accepts this archetype both accepts and denies certain things, right? It's a passage from one place to another, very, very much like many of the cards in this reading, but she protects what needs protecting. She releases what needs releasing. And in that way, she both accepts and denies entrance to her surroundings. So you have an interesting lineup so far here. Now let's look at your month. You have 3 legs to your month. Your month is broken up into thirds. Yes, it can go in perfect order, but since it's not a science, it can go out of order. This could be your first leg for some of you. This could be your second. It's all about timing and how timing is fluid for each of us here, Scorpio. You have temptation, deception. That could mean anything, right? This could be a temptation. All right, well, I don't want to mention what it could be until let's look at the cards, okay? So you have Mercury and Taurus here with the Page of Pentacles. You see how he's holding that sphere? He's holding that pentacle. It's almost like he's lusting after it, right? You could be tempted by something shiny, right? Or new, something that seems valuable to you. You could be tempted by something like that. And, here you go. You have the Magician, right? Some people think this is Aquarius energy. Some people think it's Gemini energy. It's whatever you think it is here. Depends what book you read. But you do have the Magician. And the Magician has that same pentacle on his table, if you really look at this, right? But he also has every other tool at his disposal. So you have everything you need for success, whatever that success means to you. You might get tempted by something. But if you notice, this person may be tempted by that one little pentacle. And he's using his page's mind, his very young mind for that. Where the next card up is the Magician. It's like, I've got it all, right? I don't need to settle for a pentacle because I have it all here on the table. And you have here the 6 of Swords, Mercury and Aquarius energy, right? And it's different on this side than it is on this side. On this side, they're just headed out. But on this side, this person's headed out. But you see that cup, right? You may be going to a better place. Like I said, this could be a place that you get to internally, because that cup is your heart's desire. That cup is your insides. That cup is your soul, right? And so you might not have to go far. Don't be tempted by something with no value, or should I say little value, something that's shiny, that doesn't have a lot of long-term value. Okay, don't do that. When we add this up and we break it down, we get Pisces again. Pisces may be very important for you this month somehow, some way. It is Neptune energy again, right? Illusion, dreams, right? So make sure to tell the difference between what's illusionary and what is a dream, what could be coming true, and what is a delusion. So definitely look at everything very differently this month here, Scorpio. Wow. Okay. So you have a storm. It says unexpected. See that lightning strike? First card up is Pluto. This is a Pluto card. This is the Judgment card, but it is very Plutonian, and that's your ruling planet, right? Transformation, but through a decision. You're going to be making a judgment call, a decision, right? And you're going to be transformed through that. Now, what's interesting here, I always tell you that the center card is extremely important, and your center card is the Tower. Now, look at the similarities between these two cards. Very similar, right? Unexpected. Center card, the unexpected lightning strike. This could be an idea that comes out of nowhere that shakes your foundations. This could be an event that comes out, an offer that comes out of nowhere. Something that happens that changes your world. It changes the landscape of how you think somehow. There is something here from the past. We talked about that somewhere in here, I'm pretty sure. Here, the Ash. Here is that Three of Swords energy, but instead of a brand new pain, this is something from the past that you're examining, and perhaps it needs to be examined, because we talked about that in the Ash card, right? Something that you need to look at and say, okay, this needs to be put in its place. It's affecting me. Maybe it's this relationship. It's affecting this relationship. I need to let it go. There is something you're studying and looking at that needs to be looked at, but there is also something else going on here that's quite unexpected. And a lot of times the Tower can be negative, but I don't see it that way in this reading. I don't, because of the surrounding cards. It's literally right next to the Magician. So, you know, keep your head up here on this leg, because when we add, well, first of all, you have two number threes here, right? And the number 3 is the completion of the first phase of something, right? So you're completing a very small part of a big picture here. That's seriously, it seems important, because when we add this up and we break it down, we get Jupiter energy. And that Jupiter energy is Sagittarius, but it's expansive energy. It's optimal energy. It's luck. It's growth. It's all the good. It's all the things. Last leg, you have self-care energy. It is a form of self-care. Remember when I said there is things you can do for yourself and make changes to change the landscape of your world? Yeah, it's a form of self-care for sure. So you have here the 7 of Wands, Mars in Leo, and you could be resisting self-care. This is a card of resistance, right? You see how he's holding that wand and he's like, very stubborn. That's what it is. Very stubborn energy. You could be resisting. Remember when I said you're resisting something up here? There's something you're resisting. You're resisting it, and it could be that Death card. It was that Death card, actually. Remember, it came in reverse. I said you're resisting it. You're resisting this change. It is part of your self-care, whether you realize it or not. Next card up is the 9 of Wands, and this is perseverance. It's, man, look how tired he looks. Don't stubbornly hold on to something simply because it's the way you've always done it. A change needs to be made here, okay? Perseverance, but is it stubbornness or is it perseverance? Are you stubbornly attached to a certain outcome at any cost? Could that be it? Yeah, it's right next to, yeah, I mean, it's all good things, it's all growth, but it is a reflective month for you, it seems. Here you have the moon, and the moon obviously is a Cancer card, but unlike this card, this side of the card, you have the eclipse here, right? Something is eclipsing something else. Something is moving in front of something. You may not be able to see something very clearly on this leg, because even when we add this up and we break it down, we get Neptune energy. And we even have 2 number 7s in this, which is Neptune energy, confusion, right? But we also have 2 number 9s, which is, oh, you're almost done. You're almost done. 9 is before 10. 10 is not only Pluto, which is your power planet, it is completion. Okay, so yes, it is a learning curve for you here, Scorpio. Try to let go of any kind of stubborn energy you have here on this leg. It's really, really important. Okay, now let's look at your challenges. Here we have Mars. See if I could, I'm just going to move this up here for now. So you have Mars, right? Definitely some hot energy. This is Aries energy. It does say attraction. It could be attraction, but as a challenge, it could be that you're attracted to something that maybe you shouldn't be. Could be. But let's look at the rest of the cards. Yeah, so you have the 4 of Wands here. And in your challenge column, to have the 4 of Wands, You may find it a challenge this month with this Venus and Aries energy, difficulty in creating harmony, right? This could be your home life. This could be your work life. This could be you in general being a little imbalanced. The imbalance is like, it's kind of like when a volcano is shaking things up, and it's just, and then it blows. That lightning strike happens, and man, it's like the sense of relief, and that lava certainly does change the landscape, right? So yeah, it's sort of like an imbalance that needs to happen. You have the King of Swords in reverse, and this is in your challenge column. It is a need for clear thinking this month, right? It may be a challenge for at least part of the month for you to think clearly. You have the Five of Cups here in reverse. This is Mars and Scorpio energy, and in the challenge position here, it is you overcoming past issues, right? We talked about the past here. We talked about the past over here. The past has some small thing. There's something to do with the past here, okay? And like I said, the past could be a month ago, yesterday, or 25 years ago, right? But here you have overcoming past issues. Could be regrets that you have from the past. Could be. When we add this up and we break it down, we get Mars again, right? It is the planet of action. It's the planet of courage. It is the planet of attraction. You could be attracted to a certain action, like a certain, I don't know. I keep thinking about this Page of Pentacles. Just be careful of what you're attracted to. It is in your challenge position. You may be attracted to, on one of these legs, something that isn't worth your time. To put it simply, it just like isn't worth your time. There's better things for you. Now, looking here at your opportunities, I love this. Look, you have the Wish card. You have the opportunity for fulfillment if you play your cards right, for sure. And here, look, you have the Death card in reverse. The Death card again, Scorpio energy. Now, as an opportunity here, you have an opportunity for personal growth by acknowledging a need for change. And we talked about that up here. Acknowledging a need for change. You have Cancer energy again. You have the Moon again, right? In reverse. Overcoming the confusion, the illusion, facing the fears, getting the clarity. You have the opportunity for that this month. You also have the Three of Cups here in reverse. Mercury and Cancer energy. A reevaluating of your social circle. Maybe the people at work. Maybe your family. Could be your friends. The reevaluation of certain people that are taking up your energy. Who you're surrounding yourself with is going to be reevaluated. You're going to appreciate the people that really deserve it more. And you might be cutting some ties with the people that serve no purpose except to suck your energy. Okay? So let's pull. I'm going to pull one card to close out your reading, and then I want to do I can't wait to do your numerology. It's an interesting reading here, Scorpio. For Scorpio for August 2025, you have the World. There you go. Fixed energy like you. But it's a closing of a cycle, right? Fulfillment. Harmony. Harmony is coming up in your reading more than once. Harmony. Completion. Who in the world am I? That is a great puzzle. That's what it says. It's an Alice in Wonderland deck. Yeah, for sure. All right, I want to do your numerology now. Okay, so when we add all the numbers in this reading up and we break them down, we get 9, which is Mars energy again. And it does pay to mention again that Saturn is retrograde in Aries. And we talked about the importance of that for you specifically. Okay, please go back and listen to that. It sounds like it may be very important because out of all the planets that we talked about, the one far ahead was Mars again. So you have that Mars Aries energy again. You also have, believe it or not, the number 9 that came up the most, which is Mars Aries energy again. So that's spirit doubling down 3 times in the culmination area here. So this Saturn retrograde in Aries, important for you. Do some research on that here, Scorpio. Also, the sign that we talked about the most, believe it or not, was Pisces. There could be a Pisces, but it is Neptune energy, right? It's that confusing energy. So consider that as well, right? The signs that we talked about were Taurus, Libra, Cancer, Sagittarius, Aquarius, Aries, Leo, Pisces, Scorpio, Capricorn, Gemini, And that is it. Okay, great. I wish you nothing but the best. Definitely tell me what this Saturn retrograde means for you. I wish you nothing but the best. Namaste.